What is pain? Pain is a complex sensation sent from the brain in response to sensory information received from various parts of the body. The brain decides the severity of the pain that you're feeling based on the context of the situation, your past experience, and even information you have heard from others about various situations. There are two types of pain that I will be talking about today, which are acute pain and chronic pain. Acute pain acts with a purpose, that acute pain is a symptom and it's indicative of tissue damage. This is your typical understanding of pain where you suffer an injury and it hurts. However, have you had an injury that does not cause pain? Ever heard of individuals accomplishing amazing feats while suffering severe injuries? That is where context and past experience plays a role in what the brain tells your body. Is this source of pain a threat to the body? Or is there something else more important, like your safety or your goals, going on? Think of athletes continuing to compete after suffering very traumatic injuries. I like this TED Talks example using a snake and a stick. You're walking through the brush and are unable to see your feet. You feel a sharp sensation and determine it to be a scratch from a stick. Later, you discover it was actually a snake bite. And it results in you having to go to the hospital for treatment. You're unable to walk on this foot, and it's just a really traumatic experience. It heals, you recover. Now, there's later on in your life, and you're walking through the brush again, and you feel a sharp sensation. You're convinced it's a snake bite. And based on previous experience, you immediately feel excruciating pain. But come to find out, it was actually just a scratch from a small stick, which goes to show how incredibly important your past experience is in your perception of the pain that you're feeling. Now, chronic pain is where the tissue damage is healed, but there's still a pain sensation that's sent from the brain. The pain is no longer serving a purpose, and this goes to show that pain is again not an indicator of tissue damage. Atypical responses are now occurring due to your brain becoming hypersensitive to new sensory information. There's so much stimulation that the brain can start to misidentify what should be perceived as pain and begins to label any sensation that comes in as pain. This is what is referred to as central sensitization. A more typical response for pain is when your body has been injured, that site, so say you get a cut on your finger, you become hyper aware of everything that comes into contact with it, and everything's just more sensitive. You're hyper aware, and it hurts. It hurts more. This is peripheral sensitization, and it's a typical response, but when it turns atypical is when it lasts past the healing time frame of your injury. Both central and peripheral sensitization may be present in individuals with chronic pain, further complicating messages that are being sent from their brain about what pain they're perceiving. In conclusion, I want to stress a few points. Pain is not an indicator of tissue damage. However, it is the brain's perception of a threat to the body. You can have pain when there is no tissue damage present. You can have either peripheral or central sensitization, or both with chronic pain. There are typical and atypical responses to pain, and it is more important to know when your pain response moves from a typical to an atypical response.